The moment you grab your keys, the crying starts. You haven't even reached the door yet, and your child is already clinging to your leg, their eyes filled with genuine terror, as if you are leaving forever. This is the heart-wrenching reality of separation anxiety, a phase that almost every parent faces, yet very few truly understand from a neurological perspective. It's not just being clingy or seeking attention. It is a survival response triggered by a brain that hasn't yet fully grasped the concept of permanence. When you leave, their world feels like it's fracturing. But what if I told you that you could transform this daily battle into a moment of connection? What if you could rewire your child's brain to feel safe even when you aren't in the room? Today, we are diving deep into the science of separation anxiety. We are moving beyond the standard advice of just sneak out or they'll get over it, and looking at the 4 specific neuroscience-backed steps that will stop the screaming and build a secure, confident child. To solve the problem, we must first understand the anatomy of the meltdowns. Why does a toddler act as if a trip to the grocery store is a life-or-death situation? It all starts in the amygdala, the brain's alarm system. For a young child, survival is tied directly to their primary caregiver. In their evolutionary coding, being separated from you equals danger. This is a primal instinct that dates back thousands of years. In the wild, a separated child was a vulnerable child. Even though we live in modern homes with locked doors, your child's brain is still operating on that ancient survival software. Their prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for logic, time, and reasoning, is still under construction. It won't be fully developed until their mid-20s. When you say, "I'll be back in 10 minutes," they don't actually know what 10 minutes means. To a 3-year-old, time is an abstract concept that they cannot grasp. All they know is the visceral, physical feeling of your absence. This is compounded by a lack of object permanence in very young children, where they struggle to hold a steady mental image of you in their mind once you are out of sight. To them, gone doesn't mean at the store. It feels like gone forever. Understanding this is the first crucial step towards empathy. You aren't dealing with a manipulative child. You are dealing with a scared one, whose biological alarm system is screaming for safety. The biggest mistake parents make, and the one that actually worsens anxiety over time, is the sneaky exit. We've all been tempted to do it. Your child is finally distracted with a toy or a snack, and you see your golden opportunity. You tiptoe toward the door, hold your breath, and vanish like a ghost. In the short term, it avoids the immediate crying, which feels like a win. But in the long term, you are destroying the very foundation of trust. When that child looks up and realizes you are gone without a goodbye, their brain enters a state of high alert. They learn that you can disappear at any moment without warning. This creates a state of hypervigilance. The next day, they won't play with their toys because they are too busy monitoring your every move to make sure you don't vanish again. We have to replace this disappearing act with a predictable scientific ritual. The first pillar of our scientific approach is the predictable goodbye ritual. This is a short, consistent series of actions that signals to the child's nervous system that a transition is happening. It could be a specific handshake, a double hug and a nose beep, or a phrase you say every single time, like, "I always come back." The key here isn't the complexity of the ritual, it's the absolute consistency. When you use a ritual, you are engaging the child's prefrontal cortex by providing a pattern. You are giving them a mental roadmap of what is about to happen. Over time, the ritual becomes a psychological anchor. Their brain recognizes the pattern. We do the handshake, mommy leaves, I play, mommy comes back. By providing this structure, you reduce the shock to their nervous system. You are teaching their brain to anticipate the exit, which is far less traumatic than a sudden disappearance. Furthermore, we need to examine what happens chemically in these moments of separation. When a child experiences separation anxiety, their body is flooded with cortisol, the primary stress hormone. High levels of cortisol inhibit the prefrontal cortex, making it impossible for the child to be reasonable or listen to logic. You cannot talk a child out of a panic attack using facts. However, by using the techniques we are discussing, we can stimulate the production of oxytocin. Oxytocin is the biological antidote to cortisol. It lowers the heart rate, reduces blood pressure, and creates a sense of safety and belonging. We are essentially using parenting techniques to perform a biological intervention on their developing nervous system. The second pillar of our approach is bridge building. Since children struggle to maintain an internal representation of you while you are away, we provide them with a physical bridge to stay connected to your presence. In developmental psychology, this is often referred to as a transitional object. It doesn't have to be expensive. In fact, the simpler, the better. It could be a small, smooth stone you found together on a walk, a bracelet of yours they can wear, or even a small heart drawn on their hand with a matching one on your own hand. This serves as a tangible, physical reminder that the invisible string of connection is not broken. When they feel that wave of anxiety rising at preschool or with a babysitter, they can look at the object or the drawing. This simple act activates the attachment centers of their brain, providing a hit of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which directly counteracts the cortisol of stress. It tells their primal brain, "Mom is still with me in spirit, and our bond is safe." This bridge fills the void created by their lack of object permanence, making your absence feel manageable rather than catastrophic. Moving to the third pillar, emotional rehearsal. One of the biggest mistakes we make is trying to deal with separation anxiety only at the moment of the actual separation. By then, the child's brain is already in fight or flight mode, and the window for learning is closed. Instead, we need to practice the act of separation during cold moments, times when everyone is calm, fed, and happy. This is done through micro-separations. Start in the safety of your own home. Tell your child, "I'm going into the kitchen for exactly 60 seconds to get a glass of water. I'll be right back." Then leave the room, and most importantly, come back exactly when you said you would. When you return, celebrate the reunion with a quick hug. Gradually increase the duration, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You are literally training their neural pathways to expect your return. You are building the muscle memory of reunion. Games like hide and seek are actually profound therapeutic tools for this. They teach the child in a playful, low-stress environment that people can disappear and then reappear, and that the reappearance is a joyful certainty. As children grow and transition between the ages of 2 and 6, the way we communicate these separations must evolve. For a 2-year-old, the focus should remain entirely on the sensory and physical, the ritual, the scent of your sweater, or the physical object. However, by age 4, their cognitive abilities allow us to use narrative time. Instead of using abstract terms like 5 p.m. or in 3 hours, which mean nothing to them, use their daily routine as a clock. Say, "I will be back right after you finish your afternoon snack and before you start the Lego game." This links your return to a concrete event in their world, giving them a sense of control and predictability. By age 6, you can begin to involve them in the problem-solving process itself. Ask them, "What would help your heart feel brave while I'm at work today?" This simple question empowers their prefrontal cortex, shifting them from a passive victim of separation to an active participant in their own emotional regulation. It gives them agency over their feelings. We must also address the reunion behavior. Have you ever noticed that after a long day of being good for the babysitter, your child melts down the second you walk through the door? This is called after-school restraint collapse, or safe base release. It's actually a sign of a healthy attachment. They have been holding their big emotions together all day, and when they see you, their safe harbor, they finally feel secure enough to let it all out. Instead of feeling frustrated that they are crying when you just got home, see it as a compliment. Their brain is saying, "I'm safe enough with you to stop being brave." How you handle the first 5 minutes of a reunion is just as important as how you handle the goodbye. Now, let's talk about the fourth and perhaps most critical pillar, the emotional handoff. When you are leaving your child with a teacher or a caregiver, you must consciously and physically hand off the attachment. Children are master observers of our nervous systems. If you stand there looking anxious, checking your watch with a worried expression, or hovering near the door, your child's brain mirrors your state. They think, "If Mom looks worried about leaving me here, this place must be dangerous." This is called social referencing. Instead, you must act as the alpha. You lead them to the caregiver, speak warmly and confidently to that person, and physically guide the child toward an activity. You are signaling to their brain that this person is a safe and trusted extension of you. Your body language must radiate the message, "You are safe and I trust this environment," even if you're feeling a bit emotional inside. A confident handoff reduces the duration of the crying significantly because it gives the child a clear direction on where to place their trust during your absence. Let's look at a real-world scenario that haunts many parents: the school gate or the daycare entrance. Every morning, thousands of parents struggle with the drop-off. The typical scene is a parent trying to peel a screaming child off their leg while the teacher pulls them in from the other side. This is traumatic for everyone involved. To fix this, you must start the goodbye ritual in the car or while walking, not at the gate itself. Build the bridge before you even step out. Give them the heart on the hand or the special stone while you are still in your private space. Then, when you reach the gate, keep the exit fast, loving, and decisive. A long, drawn-out goodbye is actually much more painful for the child because it keeps them stuck in the anticipation phase of anxiety. This phase is often far more stressful than the actual separation. A quick, confident, "I love you, I'll be back right after your snack time," followed by a swift departure, allows the child to begin the process of calming down and engaging with their peers much sooner. Implementing these 4 steps, rituals, bridges, rehearsal, and handoffs, is not just about stopping the tears in the immediate moment. It is about the long-term architecture of your child's brain. Every time you leave and then return exactly as promised, you're strengthening the neural pathways of secure attachment. You are teaching your child a fundamental truth about the world, that even though people go away, they are reliable and they return. This becomes the psychological blueprint for all their future relationships, from friendships to romantic partners. A child who learns to navigate separation healthily grows into an adult who doesn't fear abandonment and who can build stable, trusting connections with others. You are doing much more than just going to work or running an errand. You are building their internal foundation for lifelong mental health. As you begin to apply these neuroscience-backed techniques, please be patient with both yourself and your child. Development is never a straight line. There will be days when it feels like you've taken 2 steps back. Perhaps your child is tired or getting sick, or there has been a minor change in their routine. All of these factors lower their emotional threshold and make separation harder. On those difficult days, lean even harder into the rituals. Double the bridge building. The goal isn't a child who never sheds a tear. The goal is a child who knows they have the tools and the support to handle their big feelings. You are their anchor in the storm, and by staying calm, predictable, and empathetic, you are giving them the greatest gift a parent can give: the security to explore the world, knowing you will always be there when they return. You aren't just leaving them, you are teaching them how to be independent and brave, one goodbye at a time. You are not a bad parent for having to go. You are a wonderful parent teaching your child how to thrive. You've got this, and so do they. Thank you for being part of this journey to understand the science of your child's heart. You are doing a great job. And remember, you are not a bad parent. You are just a parent dealing with a growing brain. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more science-backed parenting guides.